Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Majestic speaking with another episode of MechWarrior Online here. And today we're going to be going through another round of the Daily Destruction Tour. This time with the Enforcer 5P. And everyone likes to see the Enforcers as sort of like a police force of MechWarrior Online. So I figured, you know what, out of all the medium chassis that I have in my garage, I don't really take out the Enforcers very much. I used a lot of GXP to get this mastered for you guys in case it is a mech that you actually want to take out on the battlefield for yourselves. But as you can see, based on the mounts right here, we're catering towards ballistics, and that's exactly what the 5P is. It's a ballistic catering enforcer variant. So let's first look at the hard points. We have 4 ballistic, 1 energy, 0 missile, 1 AMS, and 0 ECM. We don't yet have the new skill tree, integrated into the game. So right now, we do still have that laundry list of quirks that are applicable here. We have the acceleration, deceleration rate, armor bonuses in the left and right arm plus 16, and then structure bonuses in the left and right leg of plus 12. Now, the only weapon quirks that are applicable here cater towards ballistics. And if we look at those quirks, we have ballistic velocity plus 30%, ballistic cooldown plus 15%, ballistic heat generation minus 5%, UAC cooldown plus 5%, and then, or UAC 5 cooldown plus 5%, and then UAC 5 jam chance reduction of 20%. So with that being said, before we actually look at the loadout, I saw to myself, okay, we have 4 ballistic hard points, and if we are going to use 4 ballistics, I would hopefully want to stick 4 UAC 5s on there. But obviously, dealing with a medium here, you're not going to be able to fit all that. So I said to myself, okay, well, even though we can't fit 4 UAC 5s on here, if we can fit 2, maybe cram the rest of it with armor, let's see how that works out. We have no missile hardpoints. Catering to that energy hardpoint, we could, but that kind of adds another variable here. So what I did was I just stuck with adding only 2 UAC 5s. Now, I've seen this run with 2 UAC 5s, 2 machine guns. I've seen it with how I have it with just the 2 UAC 5s. I've seen it with the 2 UAC 5s and a medium or a medium pulse laser. There's a ton of different variations of it. Personally, I liked this one with just cramming in 2 UAC 5s on there. And just shoving the rest of this thing, filling it with armor and ammo. So what I did here was, as you can see, in each arm, we couldn't even fit more than 2 UAC 5s if we wanted to. Each of these guys takes up 5 slots, and we only have 4 left in each arm. So with that being said, we shoved on these 2 UAC 5s, and then with an XL250 engine, I was able to fit 7 more tons of ammo. Now, it is 50 out of 50 tons, 66 out of 78 slots, 320 out of 338 armor. I took 8 armor out of each leg, and then 2 armor out of the head. And because we had those structure bonuses, I was a little more lenient with taking out some armor out of the leg. I don't normally like to take armor out of the legs on any medium, but because of the fact that this has the the added bonuses in the quirk summary for the legs, I figured, you know what, we could spare a little bit here and still be okay. So with that, we have a 2 out of 2 heat management. So we're perfect with our heat management, not really getting it to spike very much. Obviously, only using ballistics doesn't really generate as much heat as, say, lasers or missiles or anything like that. So because of that, we're able to not even have to cater towards adding any more double heat sinks. We have 10 that came in this engine by itself. So stock with the XL250, we have 10 double heat sinks in there, and that's the minimum that you need to take out on the battlefield. So the fact that we have 10 in the engine and we're at a 2 out of 2 heat management, I know I'm only catering to one weapon type, and 1 ballistic type, and that's the UAC 5. So, it was pretty plain and simple. It's a very simple build in context. We have 210 rounds of ammo with the 7 tons. So potentially that could give 1050 in damage. Maximum output on this is 1050 if you were to land every shot at optimal range. So with that being said, now we're looking at, obviously, the alpha. We only have a 10 alpha, but we can churn through this ammo very quickly with that reduced jam chance. Obviously, we're not going to have to cramp, or deal with having any kind of jams in either of these UACs as often. We probably still will have some jams, but it's just not going to be as frequent. A 20% reduction is pretty significant. So with that being said, 87.1 is our maximum speed with speed tweak and everything. No jump jets. You can add jump jets on here, and that's, again, another variable that you can factor in if you decide to get this mech and take it out on the battlefield for yourselves, is you could cram those jump jets on there, half a ton each. So even if you wanted to spare 1 ton of ammo and put on 2 jump jets, you can do that. You'd have 180 rounds at that point, but you know, it's really up to you how you want to run it. I just wanted to make this a purely ballistic build, keep it as simple as possible. UAC 5s, cram it with ammo, put in a decent engine in there so it's not running slow, but it's not running, you know, ridiculously fast to the point where we would, you know, be sacrificing ammo at that point. So I wanted to have a healthy balance of both. So this is what I came up with, and this is, you know, I really do enjoy it. So with that being said, let's go through the modules. Advanced Seismic Sensor and Target Info Gathering are the two that I decided to go with. Again, we do have a little bit more structure because of those arms. Although we don't want to get our arms focused, we do still have the structure there if we do get targeted, and we can still, you know, dip in and dip out of cover if we, you know, hopefully we don't get a map like Polar Highlands, though, where we're left out in the open. But those are the two that I wanted to go with. Obviously, with the UAC 5s on there, you know, we're looking at having target info gathering, shooting at those critical components. You know, you can just be rest assured that this thing will blow some components off of enemy mechs, and that's really what we're aiming for here. Weapon modules, we only have one type of weapon and one particular weapon. So we have the UAC 5 cooldown, gives us a bonus of 12%. So now we're looking at a 32% cooldown on the UAC 5s and a 10% bonus in the range with the level 5 modules. As for consumables, we have the 9x9 cool shot just in case we get to that point. You know, if we keep firing them off, if for whatever reason it spikes, you know, we can just pop that really quick and we won't have to worry about heat for the rest of the game. And then an improved UAV. So again, you can switch out the 9x9 and put an improved artillery strike or something on there if you would prefer that method. There's only been a handful of times where I've actually gone churning through the ammo to the point where I actually did have to use the cool shot on this mech. So not very frequent, but just as a safety precaution, figured, you know what, let's throw it on there so we can keep, you know, churning through the ammo even more without having to worry about heat. But there we go, guys. There is the Enforcer 5P with my loadout that I placed on here. Pretty weird looking camo spec. Honestly, it's hot rod red, black, and blue. So this pink is the fade between the hot rod red and then going to the deep blue here. So I thought that was really neat, and I figured I would share that with you guys because of this particular camo pattern on here with the resistance pack. So it does have the blood packed camo on there, which I thought was pretty neat. And again, just so that you guys believe me, there's the hot rod red. And then it fades from the black into the blue, so that's where the pink comes from, the pink and the purple. But in any case, that's going to do it. Let's head out to the battlefield and see how we actually perform. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go. First round is going to take place on Polar Highlands. Not a very opportune map for us to be in, especially with this particular mech, with low slung arms and everything, and a lot of exposure. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. And what I mean by a lot of exposure is having to take this mech and place it in the line of fire. Because of those low mounts for the UAC 5s, we're going to have to peek up and peer over hills in order to get, you know, our shots down in order to effectively get some damage in on our targets. So we're going to probably play this as a support kind of distance roll, if I had to guess. Just lay down some suppressive fire, some amplification damage, you know, pretty much play a mid-range role. So hopefully help out on the front lines once our team starts to make that push forward, if they make that push forward. Obviously, I don't know what everyone's loadout is, but obviously if we voted in Polar Highlands, you guessed it, it's probably going to be a little Lerm intensive. That's what I'm guessing. I might be completely mistaken, which really I hope that I am in this case. But we're going to have to do a little bit of scouting for our team, again, because we don't have any lights. We only have mediums, a couple more heavies than you would normally see, and some assaults. So with that being said, we're going to have to get into a position that we can at least get a little bit of an overview for our team. Maybe target a couple enemies, at least know in the general direction where they are. Group up with them. We don't want to get caught out by ourselves. That is huge if we were to get caught by ourselves, because obviously with this kind of loadout, you're not really going to want to face tank or have to go toe-to-toe, one-on-one, maybe with a nest of lights, or even just a couple lights could really swarm in and pick me apart. So, with that being said, we're going to, again, stick to our role right here in the beginning. I'm checking down on the mini-map, just making sure that I stay relevant, stay pretty close to the rest of my team, and give them as much information as I possibly can, you know, relay it back to them as I see it. So, first and foremost, topping up on this hill, just going to do a little bit of a 180 degree view just to see if I see anything at all in any general direction. Peering over this hill, a little risky because they might have been right in front of us. It is part of their spawn point. But not seeing anything, which kind of has me worried a little bit, but it also has me thinking, what could they possibly be doing? Could they be hiding amongst the structure? Okay, so there on the comms, we have you know, we have some relay back from information from the guy in our lantern, that Shadow Cat. He's saying Gulf 6 is actually where he's actually seeing some movement on their team. So we're gonna head in that direction. Again, constantly looking down on the mini-map. If the mini-map shows that my team is moving in a different direction, I have to move with them. But since we did get that information, that's the direction that we're going to head. Gulf 6, having even just a sliver of life there, is going to at least get our attention in that direction. So we might not be able to see their entire team at this point, but at least we did get some sort of scouting information, maybe take out a couple mechs that might be out of position. Don't know where the rest of them are, so we're just going to have to stay patient, especially on this map. You could get caught out in the open very, very easily and easily see yourself erring on the side of destruction. And we have a Shadow Cat here. It looks like a Lerm Shadow Cat with medium lasers. So we're going to put down constant fire into him because he's out of position, and we actually got the kill. I don't think I missed a shot with those UAC-5s, which is huge. Because sometimes I know myself and I can be pretty sporadic with my shots, but that time we are pinpoint accurate. We have a King Crab coming up from the back, from behind us, trying to get a flank, but he's clearly out of position. We get the kill on him too. So 2 quick kills right here in the beginning. Man, I had no idea that those guys were even there. And there's the rest of their team. Okay, so we didn't see them at first, but it looks like they might have been hiding amongst the cover of the hills. So that definitely played out in their favor. I put a UAV up for my team. It was easily taken down, but at least the team, if they were looking down on their mini-maps, they know where they are. We have this Nova who's going across the ridgeline here, and because of my low mounts, I'm able to put some shots down on him. Not a whole lot, but at least we did get some damage, scare him off a little bit. Retreat back a little bit with the rest of the team. We have an Atlas pulling around the corner. I don't think he realized the position that he's in, and we got the kill on him too. So it's now 4-1 very early on, especially given the fact that we're on Polar Highlands. It's definitely very early, only nearing the 10-minute mark. We have a Timberwolf in front of us, and we have some armor to deal with. We do have those structure bonuses, so I'm going to stand in here a little bit and help put down some fire. We have this linebacker in front of us just eating AC-5 ammo, so that is going to make him retreat very quickly. We have that Nova that's legged now. Just one more salvo into his chest, and he goes down. It's now 6-2. This Night Gear is coming up. He's trying to put some damage down on us, and even if you look at my profile in the bottom left corner, we still have a lot of armor to deal with. They haven't cored any components on me yet. We have this linebacker charging over the hill, and we get him down with our UAC fire. Center torso, he goes down. Now we're going to pop over the hill. We have this Night Gear in front of us, and it looks like he might have overheated, which gives us a huge opportunity, and those UACs get him in the center torso, so he goes down as well. This Marauder has his focus on one of our friendlies, so we're going to get some UAC fire on him. Unfortunately, they jam, but my team is able to rally around me and get the kill. So now it's 10-2, cleanup at this point. We have a linebacker in front of us and something else that might be around here, might still be a sniper, not really sure. Probably not going to get any shots on this linebacker. My team looks like they're pretty much converging in on him at this point, and he's going to go down pretty easily. So one left, and we have the Shadow Cat. The Shadow Cat off in the distance looks like he might be a large pulse laser build from the looks of it. So now it's going to be a hunt. We're going to hunt him down, and if you look at the time, look, we've only just dipped under the 9-minute mark. So wow, did this match escalated so quickly. And it was a very fast round considering that we're on polar Highlands. Now, we might be here a while chasing down this Shadow Cat if he decides to, you know, just run around the map and get it and peek and poke until we finally cut him off. But hopefully we can cut him off right here. We have the Centurion. Looks like he's firing in on him, and yes, he is. So he is retreating backwards, which cuts his speed down drastically. We have one UAC that jammed up. We're still firing in on him. Our Centurion is providing support. Both UACs going at it now, and finally he does go down. My friend the Centurion is able to bull him over and finally end the round, get that final kill just above the 8-minute mark. So that escalated very, very quickly. 12-2 is the final score. 6 kills, 5 assists, 597 damage with 6 components destroyed. So what I thought was going to turn into just a suppressive fire support kind of game turned into us staying up there on the front lines, sticking to our guns, constantly putting those slugs into our opponents. We got 6 kills out of it on a huge map that I was expecting to just be Lermageddon, so completely changed my expectations. But that's going to do it for this episode of MechWarrior Online and the Daily Destruction Tour. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the links in the description, leave all your comments in the section below, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. So I just couldn't keep my hands off this mech. I had so much fun in that first round. I wanted to see if we can actually replicate either a similar kind of outcome or even just a similar type of game. But this time, again, we are on a more long-range map. Given the fact that we're playing on Forest Colony, we do have a lot more cover to deal with. So we do have the structure, but we also have the cover of, you know, some of the landscape here. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to try again and get ourselves into a position where if we put down some suppressive fire for our, you know, our friendlies, hopefully get our assaults involved that can pinpoint that damage, amplify it, and get our opponents down rather quickly. So first things first, sticking with our friendlies here, it looks like we have a couple that are that might be headed all the way towards the water. That would actually be pretty critical if they do happen to loop around from the water, at least to get some eyes on our opponents, get some just a little bit of focus into, you know, what direction we should be heading, where they're grouping up, if they're going towards that archway, if they're going towards the water, if they're going through the back route in one of the, you know, paths that are, you know, the secret paths that are kind of towards the back that might be coming in on a flank behind us. So hopefully they can relay at least some information for us. Even if they do have only scouts on this side of the map, we would want to know that they're there. So as we can see, we have a couple mechs out there way off in the distance. Looks like they're just, again, going to be playing that scout role for us. Looks like we have a light and a medium over there, so they're probably very fast movers. Again, going to stick with the rest of the formation. We can't get caught by ourselves. That is the main thing, is we cannot afford to be targeted solo with this kind of loadout. And I don't know if you guys realize, but for me personally, every single time I'm on Forest Colony, it always takes the longest time, either between here or Polar Highlands. They're kind of tied, but it's the longest time before there's actual really, really intense engagements. And again, you might be thinking, well, yeah, obviously there's some of the biggest maps in the game. But even then, you find that, I find, at least for me, that you just don't see a lot going on, a lot unfolding until even halfway through the match. And, you know, I hope that we can prove that different here, but we have this spider that's coming in on us. We were able to get some UAC 5 ammo right into his chest, so he's completely cored in his center torso now, and he's going to retreat back to his friends. And we do have some supportive laser fire coming from behind our head. So that ultimately gets that, you know, that spider back to the rest of his team, if they're back there. Now we're going to stay cautious, stay wary, see if there is anything peeking or poking around this corner. And it doesn't look like there's anything. I'm looking at where their positioning could be, and even on my seismic sensor on the minimap, doesn't look like there's much of anything. That spider was hanging around. Looks like he's finally going to make his way back to the rest of their team. Their team might have just posted up towards their side of the map where they initially spawned. We are playing skirmish, so I wouldn't put it past them if they use this landscape as sort of a fortification kind of role, where they're kind of just peeking and poking from behind the rock formations. We have this Viper in front of us that's just flying through the air with those small lasers, not putting down a tremendous amount of damage on me, but enough to make me say, you know what, I'm going to wait until I have some more support before I try and take you on by myself. So, again, poking around that corner, trying to see if there is anything over there. I know there was a Kodiak that I saw flash on the radar earlier, but I'm not going to pursue him by myself. He did have a friend back there, and even just going one-on-one is just way too risky. Support fire from this angle, though, is perfect. This Cyclops is completely out of position, and he's a little too aggressive for his team, and he has no idea where the fire is coming from, so he's going to back up, again, try and get into those rock formations. This Marauder couldn't see us initially. Now he is targeting us, but we did get some fire down on him as well, poking above the rock formations, trying to get a couple extra shots in. But we're going to retreat back into this little river here. This spider is back. The guy, I feel like he's just doing laps around the map at this point. He's just running circles around us. That Viper again flying in. He probably will get chewed up from the rest of my team if I had to guess. So I'm going to focus what's in front of us. Peering around the rock formations. Now we're going to hopefully use it to our advantage. And there goes that spider again. That's too funny. I can't stop laughing at that. But now we have this Thunderbolt coming in. So we're putting down some fire on him. This Marauder is putting some shots into us. We're going to constantly put a sequence of UAC 5 into his chest. And that's going to make him back up. So even after that sequence, we are, look at my profile in the bottom left. I still have all of our components intact, nothing cored at this point. Now it looks like we're trying to get our focus in on this Hunchback. Not going to fire in with my friendly there. Playing a little bit of a dance game, but ultimately my friend does take him out. He was trying to hide from me. I could just tell he didn't want to get shot by two mechs. So he was trying to dance between those pipes. Finally goes down. We get hit with that airstrike, which does core up our left torso. So we do have to be mindful of that now. Gonna put some suppression fire down on that Timberwolf here. The Cyclops is peering around. We're gonna put some fire in on him. And my friend is ultimately going to get the kill. We did core that torso. Must have been an XL engine. So he goes down. Now this Timberwolf is charging in. And one thing I do need to be mindful of is making sure that I protect that left torso. Get some shots in, but stay conservative and let the rest of my team help out. Oh, and it looks like he just had tunnel vision for that night gear. So they get 2 quick kills on our team. It's 7-6. So it actually is turning out to be a very tight match at this point. But we're going to keep putting fire down on this Timberwolf, and finally we get the kill shot with an AC-5 slug in his back. So now we're going to focus on the next target. Top Dog coming in hot. Cord center torso. Hopefully we can get him down to it, and we do. So there's 2 quick kills. This Kodiak is coming over the top, and we get the kill on him as well. 3 quick kills puts us at 10-6, and this match looks like it might just be about over, ladies and gentlemen. But now we have this Marauder in the river. Sir, stop resisting arrest. And there he finally goes. We finally get him down. He's that same Marauder from earlier. And out of all the kills during that 4-kill streak, that had to have been the most satisfying one to get for me. Now we have this linebacker in front of us. It looks like he's retreating. This Marauder 2C popping over the hill, coming right into the bowl of death. And we're just going to constantly put some fire down on him. He has his attention on one of our friendlies, but there he finally goes to finish off the round. So my team ended on a 5-0 run, 4 of which we dealt the killing blows for. Man, was that a great way to end that round and a great way to end this video. 4 kills, 4 assists, 731 damage with 9 components destroyed. Man, this mech and this particular variant is really just kind of changing my entire perception of how you can run these enforcers, and I had an absolute blast using it. It really is a ton of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the links in the description if you can. Leave all of your comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions in the comments section below. Thank you guys again for tuning into this episode of the Daily Destruction Tour for MechWarrior Online, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care, guys.